Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough where we bring the above, below, and talk about the transits you should know. So we are in September. It is September 1st through the 7th, and September is a bit of a changing of the guards. Not only are we solidly in eclipse season now, so comings and goings are completely up in the air, and what is happening, what is clear, what is unclear, it's a little wonky. Particularly with our South Node in Virgo, there is a quality that for some may feel a little retrograde-y in the Virgo sector of your house. And also, mutables are about to be up to bat yet again. Starting with, on Monday the 1st, Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces for the final time. We're going to have one more pass through those last degrees of Pisces, then Saturn will go direct and be solidly in Aries for the rest of the next couple years. But for this year, we're heading back into Pisces and we're going to finish it out that way. That'll be at 2 in the morning Mountain Time, just slightly after. And then we get the Sagittarius moon in dialogue with Chiron and Mercury before squaring our freshly ingressed Saturn, and then moving over into Capricorn just before 8 p.m. Mountain Time, where we will immediately square Neptune. So on Monday, we're looking at finding our footing again. Like, we're leaving some of the Aries energy behind, finally, but now we're heading back into Pisces, and there's been a blur between those for a while, and Saturn is definitely still under the influence of Neptune. So what we're looking at for like the whole week, we have Just Do It. We have the goddess Nike, some pronounce it Nike, whatevs. But the point is, this is like really just follow through. Take the actions, even when it's hard, figure it out, make it work. Just do it. And for Monday, come here, children. There we go. We have Death reversed and the King of Cups reversed. This is the sporified Death reversed. And this feels very much like we're going back into that soggy Piscean sector. Like, oh, I didn't finish everything here, did I? And so there's a little bit of grumpiness, there's a little storminess. So just really prepare on Monday to take care of yourself emotionally, have your grumpy time snacks, like treat yourself like a toddler, and also just be open to the good news of heading back so you can finish the job. Like, yes, there's still stuff that you have to do, but you know what it is, and you'll get a chance to kind of clean that out so you can start fresh in Aries once Saturn moves back over there next year. We move over into Tuesday, and also in the evening, like, it's not a good substance day. Speaking of Neptune, I would not recommend that because we're going to, like, the way that Saturn and Neptune are talking on Monday, I would not recommend indulging this moon day. On Tuesday at 7, just before 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time, we get Virgo Mercury, Mercury in exaltation, Mercury in domicile, the true Virgo season. And our Virgo sun will start to feel better, like it'll move out of the mutual reception, which is helpful, but the domicile Mercury, like Virgo Mercury knows what's up. And then we will have just a trine between the sun and the moon in the afternoon. So Tuesday is really like we're getting in the headspace. We're figuring out how to handle the Saturn situation again. And for the cards, we have the 9 of Clocks reversed and the 7 of Swords reversed, particularly our Jester edition. So with this, you may get a little focused on scrutiny. It may be like, oh, we only have this much time to get this done. We have to make the most of it. While also, like, there could be some self-deception or clocking somebody else and where the details are not lining up. So there is some scrutiny, and there is a possibility of really overworking, especially with our detriment Capricorn moon carrying over from Monday. You know, take things one piece at a time on Tuesday. Definitely call people out. If you see it, you can flag the play. But be clear with yourself while you're doing it. Okay. So Wednesday, we are officially in waxing crescent, and Mercury will square Uranus at 1:40 in the morning. And Jupiter's going to trine the Pisces North Node, and everything else is just kind of the Capricorn moon walking through. I'd say in the morning, from like 5 to 7 Mountain Time, maybe a little frictive. So if you wake up earlier, if you're in a later time zone, just be aware of that. Like it's kind of a crunchy, grindy morning, and it may feel very fast. Like there's a lot to do. There's a lot of messages. Like eat your Wheaties kind of morning. Because we have the Eight of Wands, and this is particularly the Eight of Wands where we're climbing out of the fire up to get to our little prize. So don't rush, but be prepared to go fast. We move over into Thursday, and we have the Capricorn moon talking to Saturn at like 4 a.m., then moves over into Aquarius, and we get a whole dialogue with all the outers again, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. And then at just before 9 p.m., we have Mars squared Jupiter from Libra to Cancer. And with that, we have the Two of Wands reversed, and then kind of our more gothy, industrial Renaissance Murder of Crows version of the Nine of Coins. And this combination is very much like, we have to revise our plans, and we may feel a little bit indecisive about which way to go, what we're really making. But what's going to help us is, even when things go wrong, remember all the work you put in. Let yourself walk through the garden of your life, even if it's like a speed run down memory lane, and just be like, I did that, I made that, I have this is what I'm grateful for. And let that guide your decision as you're reorienting towards what you need to do. Like, just because something didn't work out doesn't mean nothing works out. Don't let yourself doom spiral. Okay. So it's Thursday, we're on to Friday, and we have the Aquarius moon opposite Leo Venus, and then trining Mars. And then the big news is at 10:51 p.m., we get Uranus stationing retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini. And this is our battle card. This is kind of like the Chariot card before the Chariot is like heading off. Like this is like fighting words. We have our wolf versus our rabbit here. And so this is like, there's a tension. There's a friction here that's like, okay, what are we going to do? And this also makes sense because, Mercury squaring Uranus on Wednesday, we're still feeling that. We're still in orb of that. That's separating. And there is like this mutable, like, are we entering into mutability? Are we exiting mutability? Like, which way are we going? Because everybody is kind of switching places. And so there's a lot of action at the beginning and the end of the mutable signs. And we're moving into our eclipse. So this is where the story for the eclipse may start really heating up, and like figuring out, what do you want to fight for? What matters to you? And what have you learned so far with Uranus and Gemini? From there, we jump over into Saturday, where we get our Pisces moon. And that's really kind of it. There's not a whole lot going on. There will be a square to Uranus there. But we have, this was from over here. I see what I did. Okay, so on Saturday, we have the Seeker of Wands reversed and Patience reversed. And this is kind of like what we want to know, we're not learning. And we're feeling very impatient about it. This is that friction that's coming from, and like the moon is now in the same sign as Saturn again, with Saturn at the end of Pisces and the moon at the beginning. So there is a liminality there. Jupiter is holding it down for us in Cancer, which is definitely changing the Saturn energy, for the record. This is not the Saturn in Pisces that we had before. We don't have a detriment Jupiter. We have an exalted Jupiter as host. And so hopefully it'll be easier. We'll find out. But there could just be this antsiness. And I really think that's the eclipse building, because our eclipse is on Sunday. The moon will oppose Virgo Mercury, who is like screaming through the sign. By Sunday, we're already at 9 degrees. We don't get that for very long. And then we get our full moon at 12:08 p.m. Mountain Time. And with that, we have our party hardy raver fool. And we have the Four of Magpies reversed. And we're out of time, so I'll describe this in the